Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Izzy Biscus. And I am so happy that you are here. Hello to new people. Hello to returning subscribers. I am super excited for this vlog. This vlog is going to be over what I have learned being 22, and I want to share those pieces of advice that I have gathered through my life. I don't know it all. I am still learning and living and trying to create who I am, and I just really wanted to hop on here and share those pieces of advice that have changed my life, that have changed my perspective, have given me passion, driven me. So this is going to be a vlog over 6 things that every 22-year-old person should know. I turned 23 in less than a month, and I wanted to sit down and go over all these things that I have learned as a 22-year-old, things that have stuck with me and that continue to change my life. I'm very excited for this. I am such a friend that gives so much advice. You are now my friend. I'm going to sit down and have this conversation with you and make sure you know your worth and make sure you know how amazing you truly are. I don't have it all figured out. I am happy, freak, confused, lonely at the same time. Quoting my girl Taylor Swift in 22. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to share my first piece of advice. This mindset has changed my life, and it truly has. I wouldn't be where I am today without having this mindset. Make that jump. Move across the country. Do something that is so uncomfortable that you are questioning your life, where you're like, is this actually where I need to be? Do I actually need to be this risky and do that jump? Whether that's getting a job that you didn't expect that you would be in, but you're super excited about and super stoked about, apply for the job. Even if you don't have a job, apply for that job. Move across the country. Do that thing that you've always wanted to do, but you just haven't had time. I'm 22. I have learned that you need to take those risks. You need to take those jumps. And for instance, in my life, I was supposed to graduate in the fall of 2021. I was a semester late already from transferring schools, and studying abroad was something that I've always wanted to do. I had this epiphany and just this realization where I was like, why did I not study abroad? COVID took it away from me like 2 different times. And so I'm gonna study abroad. I'm gonna push back my graduation date another semester, and I'm gonna do it. I'm going to move to London. I'm not gonna do it with any friends. I'm not gonna know anyone in this program. I'm going to push myself and challenge myself so much that I'm going to be so uncomfortable. Let me tell you, I do not regret that decision at all. It was the best time of my life. It changed my whole entire career path and my whole path after graduation. I didn't think I'd move to London, but now I'm moving to London in about 2 months and doing a master program there. I had no idea I was going to do that. That's another thing about being in your 20s and being 22, is that when you do those jumps, when you make that move, doors open. Opportunities open and other doors close, which is something that you should be super grateful for too, because that's only leading you to more doors that are going to be open. So that's the first piece of advice I would give anybody who is watching this video who is 22 years old or in your 20s or in your 30s, in your 40s. I talk about this because I am personally 22 and I'm sharing from where I am in life right now, but this also can apply to everybody. So no matter how old you are, this can apply to you. Personally, I am not married. I do not have kids. I don't have a mortgage I'm paying. I don't have car payments. My point is that you have such a big safety net in your 20s. Even though it feels like you don't, you have a huge safety net. There are not that many obligations in your life, even though, yes, you may have so many obligations and you are responsible, you have college loans, but like, it's one thing out of 20 things that you're about to accumulate by the time you get maybe 30, 40 years old. The naiveness of making that move, making that jump, is that ignorance is bliss. So many people tell me this. I've heard it in so many podcasts. You don't know what you're about to get into, so you make that jump. And then also referencing this, I learned a lot of this from, a little backstory on this. I received this book as a graduation gift when I graduated high school, and I also received it again when I graduated college. I love this book, and it is a children's book. So it is not one of those inspirational that you're reading from this alleged inspirational speaker, whatever it is. This is a children's book, and it is by Dr. Seuss, and it is called Oh, the Places You'll Go. I want to harp on it so much because it has changed a huge perspective of my life. My mom read this book to me when we were kids, and it's super cute. The illustrations are adorable, but I never truly understood what it meant until I received it as a gift at my high school graduation and my college graduation. And I seriously sat here and I cried over this book because it is so inspirational, and Dr. Seuss just has a way of words, and this will apply to your life no matter the age. So I want to read a few excerpts from it. So this has turned into me reading you a children's book, but I promise that you will learn something from this. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know. And you are the guy who will decide where to go. Out there, things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, you'll start happening too. How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right in 3/4, or maybe not quite? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a mind maker upper to make up his mind. You can get so confused that you'll start into race, down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace, and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless place, the waiting place. Now, this part of the book, it's called The Waiting Place. I want to harp on it that when I say make that jump, move across the country, don't wait. Don't wait for a future. Don't wait for... it'll just harp on it a little bit more. Let me keep going. The waiting place. For people just waiting. Waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, and waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for when to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape. Once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're that kind of guy. Oh, the places you'll go. There is fun to be done. There are points to be scored. There are games to be won. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. I love this book, and I think this is also a great graduation present. So if you're watching this and you need a graduation present, absolutely get this book. I just want to say that as a 22-year-old, you have a lot of life ahead, and I am continuing to experience the most amazing times of my life. I'm so grateful for having that mindset of making that jump. Apply for that master program. Apply for that job that scares you that's across the country. Do it, and you will be so thankful that you did. So my next piece of advice, this is absolutely one of my favorite pieces of advice that I watched. It was through an interview, and the stress of being single in your 20s and being not with someone and not in a romantic relationship. I have experienced that as a 22-year-old. I am single. I am very, very single. My last boyfriend was about 2 years ago now, I would want to say, and it can get lonely. I know a lot of people, like your parents will harp on you about, like when Christmas comes around, your grandparents, have you met a guy yet? Have you met someone yet? And the pressure of being single in your 20s, it can be hard sometimes. I want to give you advice over what singleness could mean for you in your 20s and inspire you to realize that your singleness is totally awesome and it is okay to be single and to be good on your own. Taylor Swift, she is such an amazing inspiration speaker. I look up to her on a lot of things and her viewpoints on life. But one of the things that I found, I think right after I turned 22, I saw this TikTok. And it was an interview of Taylor Swift, and she was talking about what it means to be single and how not having a relationship when you are in your 20s is okay. And I'm going to go ahead and play that clip, and I just really want you to focus on it and really take in what she says.
You can find romance in your life even if you aren't involved in a romance. Life can be beautiful and spontaneous and surprising and romantic and magical without you having some love affair happening. And you can replace all of those feelings you used to have when you were enamored with someone with being enamored with your friends and enamored with learning new things and challenging yourself and living your life on your own terms. And I never understood it when people would say, oh, you know, in your 20s, you just need to be alone. And I never quite got it because they would never explain to me that it's so important to define yourself on your own terms. If you think about it, when you're in love, that person's opinion affects your opinions. And everything you do goes through this filter of how would they feel about it. Because if you're a caring person and you're in love, then that's what you do. But there's something really wonderful about changing your life if you want to, moving to New York if you want to, changing directions of your entire creative outlook if you want to, and having it only be on your own terms.
I have watched this video, I think, more than 100 times. And when I first heard it, I actually grabbed out my journal. I scripted that whole entire message. I put a highlight note on it. Every now and then when I need a little bit of a reminder, I go back and I read her interview. I think what she says is so important to build a foundation on, because I am huge on romanticizing things. That is pretty much my whole brand. Whenever I post something on Instagram, whether it's through fashion, through my friends, through my experiences, I love looking at things and romanticizing my life. When I say romanticizing my life, I am thankful, I am appreciative, and I am happy in those moments. And those moments are bigger than what they are. So when she says you can be enamored by your friends in your life and by the relationships you have with your friends, like you don't have to be in love with someone and to have a romantic relationship with a partner to be able to find those romantic joys of life. So I totally agree with her, and I also agree that if you are a loving and caring person, of course you're gonna have a filter through your mind of how are they gonna think about this? If I want to move to London like I'm doing, are we gonna break up? Is this gonna be something that we could work through? Without being with someone and you deciding that by yourself, you begin to create a solid foundation of who you are. You begin to love yourself more because you find your independence, you find who you are. Life is really just figuring out where you fit in this world, and it's all about relationships. I strongly believe that you cannot build a great relationship, whether that be romantic, whether that be with your friends, without building a great relationship with yourself. And I always give my friends this advice, but I fully believe that she is completely correct in this, and that in your 20s, if you can help it, try not to get in a relationship, or at least make sure you're ready for that relationship and that it's adding more to your life and not changing your foundation, not changing who you are, and pushing you to be a better version of yourself. And if you can find that with someone, I think that is so special and something great and rare. But until then, I feel like you need to be lonely, be self, and just be one person. I feel like in my last 2 years from not having a boyfriend or being in a romantic relationship, I have learned a lot about myself. I am super proud of myself. I have grown more in this year of my life at being 22 than I have in any other year. I am so looking forward to 23, even though it's not going to be 22 anymore, and I can't say I'm in my Taylor Swift year, but that's okay. I'm excited to take on this next year of life and all the amazing things that are already implemented in my life, but that will continue to seasonally grow. All alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon, that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go. On and on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far and face up to your problems, whatever they are. My third piece of advice is, this is super important, whether it's something you implement in your life with your goals, your dreams, the business you started, the novel you were writing. I want to advise you to never, ever, ever put a ceiling over your dreams or over anything. This world is limitless, and I want you to realize that reality is a mindset. And if you don't put a ceiling over a dream, over how much salary you want, you can achieve things that are out of your wildest dreams. I have listened to a bunch of podcasts through entrepreneurs and business-minded people, and they always say that, for instance, say your max is $100,000 a year. That is your goal. That's what you want to be paid, and that is so okay. And I'm not saying it's not okay, but what about this mindset of not putting a limit on you and saying like, well, what about 200,000 a year? What about 200 million a year? And I know you're gonna be like, what in the world? Like, you can't do 200 million. Well, that's your mindset, and that is your version of reality that you're creating for yourself. But there are some people out there, and the world's biggest millionaires, billionaires, best business-minded people, they will never put a ceiling over what they can do. They never, ever, ever say, okay, this is like all I can do, or this is all I want. They will break reality and not limit themselves. They know that they can achieve anything. And I just want to say, I'm looking directly at you. Yes, whoever's watching this, you can do anything you set your mind to and anything you work hard for. Absolutely, I have no doubt about that. You need to start building a foundation to where you believe in yourself as well, because you are worth it, and you are brilliant, you are smart, you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. So why not set your mind to something that exceeds even your wildest dreams? I'm telling you, it is a mindset that has changed the way I look at things, and I'm very excited to have that piece of advice and to realize that I create my own reality, and I create my own dreams and my own maximums, minimums in whatever field I'm looking at. Just realize that some of the most ambitious people, they don't ever put ceilings over their ambitions. So you shouldn't either. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can do this, and don't put a limit. You are young enough to have these ambitions and dreams. Even if you are not 22 and you are 40 years old, you are 60 years old, you are still young enough to have these hopes and dreams and still achieve them. So my number 4 advice is to journal. That is one of my favorite things that I have been doing actually for a while now. I have been journaling since I was in high school, but I have really gotten more into it as my 22-year-old self. Journaling has brought a piece of calmness in my life. It has allowed me to look back on things that I never thought I'd get through and realize that I did. Also, manifestations, I believe that they absolutely work. Write it down. Create a journal of just your manifestations. Whether that's actually writing it down in your journal, or it's getting out your phone and creating a note right here on the Note app. I have written a lot of my dreams and hopes in this journal, and I also created a manifest/prayer notes right here, and it dates back to my first one where I first started it, June 29th, 2020. I'm reading this right now, and I've actually achieved a lot of this. It's super amazing and sweet to look back on and to know that you are progressing in life and you are not where you were yesterday. Some of your hopes and dreams that you had, for instance, when you were 20, you can be thankful that you are currently in a spot where you wanted it to be 2 years ago, and you're actually living that dream that you wanted. Sometimes it's so easy for life to get fast, for you to forget what your hopes and dreams were, and to keep track of everything that you are accomplishing. For instance, say my dream was to be able to purchase a guitar and teach myself at least 2 songs on this guitar. And you wrote that back in 2020. Fast forward to now, where it is 2022. In your reality, you have a guitar, you know 10 songs on the guitar, and you are looking ahead because you want to now be a country pop star. That's what your dream is now, and you're not there yet. But in reality, you wrote down in 2020 that you wanted to save enough money to buy a guitar and learn however many songs. It's healthy to realize that where you are right now, you did that. You accomplished that. And that is something amazing. Even though you're not exactly where you want to go, you have already come so far and you have already grown in a way you were dreaming about. You were dreaming to grow like this. That's what manifestations do for me. That's what writing it down and journaling does for me. Like that example, it shows you how far you've come. It physically puts down new dreams and new opportunities to look forward to. I highly, highly, highly recommend, if you have not journaled ever in your life and you are 22 years old and you are watching this, just start journaling. Sit down every day for 15 minutes, make it a goal, and don't limit your journaling. Write down what you're doing in your day. Even if it's the tiniest detail, you're gonna go back and read those and be like, wow, like I remember exactly that moment. I was so happy here, I was so sad here. And I think it's super healthy to look back and be like, I have come so far and I am so proud of myself. Absolutely something that you should totally start doing. My 5th piece of advice is people's opinion of you does not define you. This is something that has taken me so long to have as a foundation, and I'm still working on it. This is a work in progress mindset and a work in progress piece of advice. Everyone, every day, I know, compares themselves to another person. And not even that, if someone says something mean to you, someone has an opinion on you, someone doesn't like you, someone thinks you are too this, too that, annoying, loud, it can take a toll on you. It really can. And in 7th and 8th grade, I think I had the most bullying I've ever had, and it completely shattered my days and my world, and I did not have my self-confidence that I do as a 22-year-old. And so looking back on that, it just goes to show that when you can have a mindset and the confidence and know that you are beautiful exactly how you are, and people's opinions of you and things they say about you don't define you, that is absolutely true. And I want you to know that. Anyone watching this, 22 years old, 50 years old, 16 years old, you are not other people's opinion of you. That does not define you. You don't have to let it define you.
I'm gonna tell you right now the things you actually are not, okay? These are the things you really are not. You are not the opinion of somebody who doesn't know you. You are not damaged goods just because you've made mistakes in your life. You are not going nowhere just because you haven't gotten where you want to go yet. Those are the things you actually are not. Now, I want to tell you what you are. You are your own definition of beautiful and worthwhile. That's what you are. And you are someone who is wiser because you made mistakes, not damaged, wiser.
Personally, I have been having so much fun on YouTube. I love y'all. I love my subscribers. I love my channel. Y'all are amazing. You support me and you guys are doing things for me that I couldn't even dream of. And I'm so happy for what's to come. But YouTube in the comment section, it can get brutal. There are some people who are mean. There are mean people out there, and they sometimes like to define me, and they think they know me because I do share my life. I share a lot of my life, but it goes to say I don't share my whole life. I don't share every waking moment. This is little snippets of my week, of my day. I try my hardest to show everything that accumulates my days, my ups, my downs, what I'm doing, but life is so much more than a 15-minute vlog. get all these comments sometimes of people just criticizing me. I mean, I got this one comment the other day where someone was like, "You're such a beautiful girl, but the more I kept watching your videos, you're super conceited. You need to realize that the goal in life is not yourself, blah, blah, blah." And I just sat there, looked at it, and questioned myself for a second. And I was like, am I like this? Like, do I need to start not sharing my life? Do I need to start making vlogs about other people? And then I had to bring myself back to my foundation. And I was like, you are not the opinion of someone who doesn't know you. And yes, I did take that comment into consideration, but at the end of the day, I need to not. And I need to realize that the social media and the internet is a harsh place sometimes. And we're thankful for that because it makes you stronger. It builds on those foundations that you have already implemented. And I'm super grateful that I already had this foundation of being confident and true to myself and know that whatever people say about me who don't truly know me, it doesn't really matter. And I'm not going to let that ruin my day. I'm not going to let it ruin what I'm doing here on YouTube. I'm going to continue forward. I'm just going to move on, continue with my life because they don't know me, I don't know them, so just move on. I wish I had that mindset and that foundation growing up 7th, 8th grade, high school, whenever it was that I struggled a lot with that. People's opinions used to rule my world, and I have started to build a strong, solid foundation to where that does not happen. And I am starting to care less and less about what people think of me, which is a good thing, and I think it's a healthy thing. I'm super thankful for all of those who do support me and who don't judge me based off little excerpts I show you. I wish I can have you join my life fully, but there are some things where I'd like to have a personal life on and that I don't have to share. I'm still a boutique YouTube channel, I would call it, compared to other people who have millions of subscribers, but I'm still super thankful for each and every one of you. If I can change one person's life, help one person, that is enough for me, and that is making a difference. So please remember, you are not the opinion of someone else who does not know you. My last piece of advice is one of my most favorite pieces of advice. Everyone fails. Embrace the failure and don't define it as failure. I want to play this one clip from this amazing guy. His name is Elon Musk and he is super inspirational. I love his interviews. I love watching what he has done. He is such a genius and what he is doing is changing this world, and there's innovations that he is doing that are out of this world. No pun intended. I'm gonna play this little clip of him being interviewed and what he says about failing, and enjoy.
2, 1.
4 years after starting, SpaceX rolled out its first rocket, an unmanned booster called the Falcon 1.
Falcon has cleared the tower.
But the first 3 test flights failed to reach orbit.
We are hearing from the Launch Control Center that there has been an anomaly on the vehicle.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
It turned out that the third failure was caused by a 2-second glitch in the timing. 8 weeks later, Musk bet the company on another flight.
We have liftoff.
And this time around, everything worked.
Perfect.
If that fourth launch hadn't worked, that would have been it. We would have not had the resources to mount a fifth.
You couldn't have gone out at that point.
Yes, death would have been, I think, inevitable because we did not have the resources to mount a fifth launch.
This is a tricky business.
Tricky.
I don't ever give up. That is such a simple mindset. It was maybe not even a 10-second clip, but one of the most leading, innovative men in the world who is changing space as we know it has failed so many times. And if he let that failure overcome him and he let it succeed and he let failure win, he would not be where he is today. And he would not be at the level of success if he let that failure consume him. And so I want you to know, failure does not mean you failed. It is a pivot. It is a path you took on your way to succeeding. It's not the end of it all. Failure is success in progress. If you look at the most inspirational, the most successful people, whether that's athletes, business people, they all have failed at some point in their life, and they continue to fail. So just because you didn't get that internship that you tried so hard for, that door closed, you didn't get it, you did not fail. That's not failing. You launched a business. It is not doing as good as you thought. That is not failing. In my life, I applied to the University of Georgia and I did not get accepted first time around, and that was a big failure in my life. Failure. So I was super bummed about it, but I did not let that stop me. I went to UNG Dahlonega, which is a smaller school up in the North Georgia mountains, and I transferred into UGA. I worked really hard, I kept my grades up really well, and then when time came around when I could start applying to transfer to the University of Georgia, I did. So I applied, I got in. The first time I applied when I first got out of high school and I didn't get into UGA, that was not a failure. It's not where you begin that matters, it's where you finish. I just want to remind you that you are going to fail. This little guy, he failed so many times. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch and your gang will fly on, you'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. But you read his story to where he kept going. He kept pushing through. He got lonely at times. This book is literally the outline of every single piece of advice I have given you so far. When you get pushed to the ground, get back up, shake it off, and keep trying, keep pursuing. Don't put ceilings over yourself. I am very singular, very self right now. It is just Izzy Biscus and Izzy Biscus only in a way for my failures. And of course my family as well, but my point is that your safety net is a little bit bigger right now compared to, I feel like, when you get older in life. Take that risk, fail 100 times over, because when you fail, you learn lessons. You grow into a better person. You grow more into yourself. Those are 6 things that every 22-year-old person should know. I had the best year of my life, and I can so strongly say that. I had the most amazing friends and family in my life during this year. I was more in tune with myself. I had a stronger foundation this year of life. I got to live in London for a study abroad program that changed my life, made me who I am today too, along with so many other things, along with these 6 pieces of advice that I have just now shared with you. And 22 was an amazing year, and I hope that 23 is just going to be even better than my 22-year-old self. I'm really happy that I got to get on here and share this. One person at least is going to watch this. I hope you really take to heart all these lessons that this vlog has presented you. I think it can really change your life and your mindset and your perspective on life. Once you can start building a strong foundation in yourself, you can give more to others. And that's the whole reason of life, is to be able to have these relationships and be there for others, love on others. Love is the most important thing in this world. You loving yourself comes first, because you cannot give the best love and give your best self when you are broken. Comment down below if you have any comments, any questions. Follow me on my Instagram at Izzy Biscus. I love inspiring people, and I do it best through my vlogs, through my fashion. I think clothes can talk, and the way you dress, the content you create, the Instagram pictures, I feel like that inspires in a different realm maybe. But follow me on Pinterest, follow me on Visco. I am still growing just as you are. No matter if you are 30, 40, 80, 90, however old you are, we are all humans who are making mistakes, growing, and figuring out what life is. No one has lived the life that they are currently in. So it's not like I have lived since I was 90 and then I backtracked to 22, and now I can learn from those mistakes I made when I was 50, when I was 70. Everyone is just winging it. That's what we're doing. We are trying to inspire each other, to help each other, to build each other up. I really hope that these 6 pieces of advice can really build you up. Please comment down below, subscribe to my channel to see more. I am very happy to have y'all here. And I'm so excited I got to sit down and make this vlog because it means so much to me. I'm not going to gatekeep stuff that has changed my life and that has built a strong foundation for myself. So, my name is Izzy Biscus, and I will see y'all in the next vlog. Bye, guys.